After just one game in the NHL, guys, on Wednesday night, we are back with a loaded slate of NHL hockey on Thursday. I'm here to give you guys just a few picks to give you for the Thursday slate. And we don't want to celebrate too much because we're just getting out of a small slump that we fell into. But a great call last night on the show. We went live and we had just one game. That's what we're going to do. We're going to come live if there's one game, if there's 10 games. But I'm not going to give a pick on every game. We're just going to find our spots. Some of the games we'll just give information. Some of the games we'll give picks. But last night we talked about the Maple Leafs. We talked about the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I'll tell you what, this Columbus Blue Jackets team looked good offensively. They chased Caden Primo out of the net. And I'll tell you what, this Blue Jackets team continues to have success against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And for right now, when it comes down to it, this Maple Leafs team looks inconsistent. They look different, and they look like they're struggling to find their identity. So against certain teams like the Blue Jackets in back-to-back spots, in maybe not the biggest spot of the week or of their calendar, there's going to be opportunities to fade them. And I told you guys last night that minus 105 seemed kind of weird. Well, the Blue Jackets actually went off as favorites in that one because William Nylander did not end up playing. So we cashed that ticket. Very happy to do so. And hopefully we can keep making some money in the NHL, guys. A quick update on my season. We got off to a very, very good start. Then we hit some bumps in the road. And then now we're kind of leveling back a little bit, but we're playing at very, very low volume. And then we're going to come out swinging once again. So a couple spots I like on a Thursday. I will mention, I know it is a hockey show, guys, but huge run for me, 18-6 in NFL for my prop bets. So you guys can't miss out on that. I got a big 5% for Thursday night football. NFL 5% play. Don't miss that. Available at WagerTalk.com. But let's jump into the NHL. We got a big board to get to, guys. We got a handful of games and some underdogs continuing to take money in the NHL. We keep on seeing it every single night. And once again, these underdogs are cashing tickets, but we need to also be figuring out which teams are going to run out of luck at some point soon. And guys, we're going to start with one that's a little bit down the card here, but Minnesota minus 187. They turned minus 165. And you know what? You guys can call me crazy here, but I'm here to say that I think that this is probably going to be the turn of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Look, Malkin looks good. Crosby looks good. Don't get me wrong. This team is playing with some type of swagger right now. But when I look at that loss they suffered against the Flyers, we saw them kind of deflate a little bit offensively, not capitalizing on their chances. And they're going to play about as hungry of a team as you could possibly get with this Minnesota Wild hockey team that has lost not 2, not 3, but 4 straight games. You want to talk about teams overachieving versus teams that are underachieving. That's what we're getting in this game with the Minnesota Wild against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And Pittsburgh, of course, being on the road, I think makes things a little bit worse for them matchup-wise. If you guys know me, you know I like my team totals, all right? You know that I like to search for the best possible team totals we can get. This is one that I'm all over. At this point, we're already locked in. Team total over 3.5 is a good number you can get. Shop around. I'm looking right now for the best number available, but I'm seeing minus 105 at some books that I shop at. You want to try and avoid the minus 110s, 115s. Get, of course, the best price. I like to get my team totals at even money or better, but this Minnesota Wild team, they've been in an absolute rut. You know, they lost to the Devils. They lost to the Mammoth. They lost to the Sharks in a game they scored 5 goals. And, of course, coming off a loss against the Winnipeg Jets. They will not be happy whatsoever about that one. That's for sure. But I think, guys, it is a good one to look at with the over 3.5 goals for the Minnesota Wild. I also think the first period over could be a play. And usually I look towards defense when I'm talking about the Minnesota Wild. Defense is usually their identity. But for right now, we're going to look at goals on their end. And I think that for the Pittsburgh Penguins, their best effort in that game is going to be in the first period and might fizzle out a little bit after that. So rotation 11-12, 11-12. That's Pittsburgh visiting Minnesota. We're going to take over 3.5. We're going to lock in the Minnesota Wild team total over 3.5. Next one here, rotation 13-14. Right after that game on the odds board here, we've got St. Louis opened up -144. And guess what? We have seen minimal movement in that one. We've seen a lot of movement across a lot of different games here. We haven't seen much movement in that one. And you guys know I've been looking at a lot more than usual at these analytical stats. And one thing, of course, I forgot to mention that after Pittsburgh's last game there against Philadelphia, they are dead last in the league in they are bottom of the league in expected goals against. And that's a huge thing to look at. But when you look at expected goals for, you've got St. Louis, that's number 6. And this is a team overall that hasn't been able to meet their expectations. They haven't been able to reach some of these goal scoring numbers. But this is a Vancouver team that, they're not looking very good right now. And they're coming off a game in which they were shut out by the New York Rangers. But when it ultimately comes down to it, guys, as much as I like to be contrarian, I feel like what I've done this year a little bit too much is go against the grain, maybe a bit too much. Like I'm seeing some people posting slips and posting, celebrating nights that they've had and taking every single obvious pick that's out there. And sometimes when you do this as much as I do, when you're researching as much as I do, you kind of overthink it a little bit here. And this Canucks team right now is having a very, very tough time. I think that their consistency level has not been there. Their depth level is not there. And now you've got injury issues. Like if Quinn Hughes isn't there, that is such a huge loss for that team. It's indescribable. You just, defensively, offensively, power play, leadership wise. And then Connor Garland, a guy like that might be out for a little bit of time now. We'll see how serious his injury is, but it sounds like Connor Garland is out for the Vancouver Canucks. So when I look at this St. Louis Blues team, I just think that they're hungry, but also they haven't been able to get consistent results. They've been able to put up some goals, but their offensive analytics show something different than what we're seeing on the score sheet. And I feel like this is a spot where they're going to be able to put up some goals. We talk about, wanting to ride hot teams and keep fading cold teams. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to trust my system. And these two plays that I like here for you guys, I think they're different ways to play them. Looking at Minnesota team total, you get a better price going against Pittsburgh. I think most of the losses that Pittsburgh has this season, they're going to give up 4 goals. No, I don't want to lay -600 on the Minnesota Wild against the Pittsburgh Penguins, but I am willing to do the team total of Minnesota. Well, in this one in particular, when you take a look at this St. Louis team, not only have they been top 6 as far as their expected goals offensively, I can kind of respect what they've been able to do defensively as well. They're middle of the pack as far as their expected goal numbers against, but the expected differential is what really sticks out to me as their top 6 in that as well. You got Colorado, New York, Washington, Florida, Ottawa, and then St. Louis. And when you look at the worst team in the league in expected differential, expected goal differential on the season so far, you guys guessed it. It's the Vancouver Canucks. All right. So you've got the number 6 team expected goal differential against the worst team in the league expected goal differential. So we'll see what ends up happening in this one here, guys. But the quote unquote system play that we were using with first period overs or full game overs, we could see it. We could see the Canucks rally around no Garland, rally around no Quinn Hughes, but there's no flat spot here for the St. Louis Blues. They have lost 4 straight games. We just started off this show by giving out a pick, backing 2 teams that have lost 4 straight games. What do both those teams have in common besides being in the same division? They're both playing at home. They're both hungry, and they're both potentially playing teams that are not going to be able to bring a full effort. And I think that's what we're going to get here. I think St. Louis is the play. I think we take a look at this team and we take a look at Vancouver team total under, or you guys go ahead and just say, you know what? I don't mind laying the chalk in this one. I think St. Louis money line is the way to go in that one. New Jersey and San Jose. Guys, this might sound kind of funny because you look at some of the numbers that the San Jose Sharks have been putting up on the board. They've been involved in track meets. 4-3, 6-5, 6-5, 4-3, 6-3, 7-6. This has been a team that's been involved in a hell of a lot of high-scoring games when we talk about the San Jose Sharks. But this is a New Jersey Devils team heading on the road for a road trip, and man, they look good. Man, they look good. And I'll tell you what, the Devils gave up a ton of goals against Colorado. A ton. And this, to their true identity, is not who they are. The New Jersey Devils are a team that wants to play a little bit more boring hockey. I hate to say it. Sorry, Devils fans. I know you got some talented players, but I think New Jersey altogether wants to play a little bit slower. They want to play more defensive. And I think against a team like San Jose, they're going to probably be able to drag them into that type of fight. I think that because New Jersey is coming off a game like they are against Colorado, where they gave up a ton of goals, I think the focus level is going to be there. Sometimes when teams play the San Jose's of the world, the Chicago's of the world, you might not get that full effort. But I think you're going to get that full effort from New Jersey because they're coming off a game where they gave up a ton of goals against Colorado. But this is going to be an under here for us, guys. 6.5 is the number at most spots. We've seen a little bit of money, and I mean a little bit of money come in as far as San Jose on the plus 1.5. Some people are betting into that, thinking that it could be closer than people think. But I think this is an under game. I think we see more of a defensive effort. I think that I respect San Jose more than some people do. And the expected goal differential for San Jose, they're actually top 10 in the league. So this is a team that, maybe is playing better defensively than some might give them credit for. And I think we could look towards that. Over 2.5 shots on goal for a player prop in that game. Yep. Despite only one game swept at first period over 1.5. Columbus first period -0.5 goal. Total over 6.5. Man, let's go. Great night. Great night. For me, we just rocked with that pick we mentioned last night, Columbus. If you guys want to know about reading the market, we said this last night. Try and tell me why Columbus -105 opening number against the Toronto Maple Leafs, the big scary Maple Leafs, the Stanley Cup contender. No. You read the market, you figure out why, and you back a Columbus team in a really good position who I had more interest in backing second half of back-to-back. And I'm going to tell you what, guys, I think that units won and lost, the Maple Leafs are going to do their best work, probably against good teams this year. This is going to be a team that will do their best work when they're playing against better teams. Bottom teams and teams with a record worse than them, I'm not really buying it with them. I just want to give a big thank you to Caden Primo. I told you, Caden Primo was due for a clunker. He was due for a bad game. I saw what he does in Montreal. Hey, speaking of which, guys, Alex B. Smith, AX Sports, is joining me. Alex B. Smith, loved working with Alex for many years in the Ice Guys. He's going to join me on the show tomorrow night. And Alex, it's very unique. He does his own goalie rankings. So we've been talking about expected goals saved and all that stuff and looking at different rankings as far as the analytics. Well, Alex is going to join and talk about his ranking list as far as goaltenders are concerned for the entire league. Starting goaltenders, backups. There's not many games on Friday. So tomorrow night's slate, tomorrow night's show, we're going to spend the time going over goaltenders. And I'm curious what he thinks about my guy, Jakub Dobish, for the Montreal Canadiens and what he's been able to do because he's been phenomenal. But don't miss tomorrow's episode, guys. Alex B. Smith going to talk about goalies that you guys got to fade. Under the radar goalies to back, under the radar goalies to fade. So Alex is a really, really good guy and definitely appreciate his time. So really like that. All right, so guys, so 3 picks I like. We're going with Minnesota team total over 3.5. All right. We're going with St. Louis on the money line, and we're going with New Jersey and San Jose under the total of 6.5. All right. 3 plays that we like quite a bit in that one. One other one I wanted to mention here was Nashville and Philadelphia. Philadelphia to me is a team that people are going to probably be surprised by what they're able to do this season. They're going to pick up some wins that people might not expect them to. But I also think that they're starting to be a little bit overpriced. And I know I just talked about reading the market, but this number to me is a number that I'm interested in the Predators. I like them here on the road. I feel like they can play a good road game. They can keep things close. They can grind it out. And you look at some of the games they've had recently, 3 of their last 4 games have been 1-goal games. And I think if you take a look at this Predators team, you're going to be able to see a good fight out of them. They just lost 5-2. 5-2 is what they lost on Tuesday night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. They won't be happy. And I think against Philadelphia is a team that they could do some pretty good damage against. So dog of the day could be the Nashville Predators. That's very worth taking a look at. We'll break down Calgary, Ottawa. We'll break down Buffalo, Boston tomorrow on X. I'm going to post out some props, post some thoughts I have and some different things that we're looking at. Puck Time returns tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. We've got a bunch of games we're going to break down. We have 2 guests joining us, and of course, myself and Carmine, as always. So, guys, it's a big slate. But as I've said, until we get rolling again, we're going to just give out a few picks here on the show. We're going to start having more guests on to go back and forth. But hope you guys joined me on the Maple Leafs game. Love fading this Maple Leafs team when it works out, and we cash the ticket on the Columbus Blue Jackets. All right, guys, don't miss it. 5% play, NFL player prop, going to be up at WagerTalk.com. You guys can grab that. It's a huge run. I believe the run's now 18-6 with NFL player props. Let's cash this ticket, but we got a big day ahead of us in the NHL on Thursday. I'll be ready, and I hope you guys can cash some tickets. Shout out to Steve chiming in last second. Vancouver, Chicago, Detroit. I'm looking at those. Hey, best of luck, Steve. Let's cash some tickets, man. Guys, I'll see you on Puck Time tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern, Wager Talk TV. And if you watch this on YouTube, do me a favor and smash that like button. Hit the like button. Doesn't take too much time. Really helps me out. And also comment below anybody you want to see come on this show and any segments you guys want to see me dive into. I think props are going to become a lot bigger part of this show. We'll look to dive into it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.